2025 has seen some brilliant shoe releases so far. I've been lucky to test a fair few of them, and today I'm going to be giving you my top 5 shoes of 2025 so far. I'll also share the shoe that I'm most disappointed with so far, and also some upcoming releases that I'm really excited to test, and I'd love to hear your feedback on them down in the comments below. So let's get straight into the top 5. We'll kickstart with the Adidas 9. This is in no particular order. These are just the 5 shoes that have really shone for me this year. Now, I picked this shoe up before my 5k training block that I embarked on in and around the start of March, which I then wrapped up last month. So it had a good 10 weeks of regular use. I have since put it down, but now picked it back up as I go into my summer training, and it's just reminded me what an incredible shoe this thing is. I think from memory it's 27 and 20 stack height, or 28, 21. I think it's a 7mm drop. I'll put the stats on screen. Either way, it's a lower drop than what a lot of us are using these days for the majority of our runs, and that is honestly why I really like this shoe. The Lightstrike Pro provides enough cushioning, but just in a smaller package to keep the shoe lightweight, very nimble, and really good for those fast days. But being completely honest, it's not just the fast days that I've been using this shoe for. Last weekend I embarked on a 10-mile run in this thing, did a nice 3-mile easy warm-up, did 20 by 30-second hills in the shoe, and then a 3-mile easy back home. It was 10 miles in total, and yeah, it just handled the mileage really well. I think when you look at a shoe in this day and age, we often forget that these are the type of stack heights, and even less than this, that we used to run in only 10 years ago, and it was pretty much a standard thing to use. Whereas now, we're so spoiled for choice with bigger stack shoes that often we look at these and go, no, they don't give my body enough support. I need a bit more stack height than that. Honestly, I always say it in plenty of videos, everybody needs a shoe like this in their rotation. Sticking with the 3-stripe brand, we've got the Evo SL. This is my second pair now, so my first pair I ramped up to just over 300 miles. Tim Gross, a fellow YouTuber, wasn't getting on with his pair, so I purchased them off him. He put 68 miles in his, and I have picked these ones up as well. I've now got around 60, 70 miles in these also, so these are racking up the miles too. These, without a shadow of a doubt, have been the daily trainer of the year, and right now, shoe of the year for me. So technically, I maybe should put this at the end of the video, but I'm sure if you have seen a lot of the videos on the channel, you know that this is my favorite shoe, so I'm not going to keep you in suspense for that. I will say, the versatility on this shoe is absolutely incredible. I love the fact that I get race day caliber foam, a lovely comfortable upper without any rods or aids within the midsole to help me with my running. I'm a massive fan of not using carbon plates and rods in training where I can, although I must admit I do find the rods in the Adidas Pro 3 to be very useful and much more natural, so I don't mind those too much, but I do try and avoid plates, and this is a perfect shoe that pretty much wipes out the use of any other shoe that I need in my rotation. I often find myself forcing myself not to use this shoe just to get other shoes in there, let the midsole decompress a bit before taking it out on its next run. For the usage factor, for me, it's done easy, steady marathon effort and half marathon effort miles. I will slip something on a little bit faster, maybe a bit lighter, maybe a little bit more snappier, because this thing doesn't have the most snappiest effect. It's got lovely cushion, lovely rebound, wonderful roll through on the foot strike, but yeah, it just lacks a little bit of snappiness. So I will slip something on a little bit sharper, which we'll come to shortly. Otherwise, this thing covers absolutely all the bases and does it 10 out of 10. The On Cloud Surfer 2 has been a bit of a revelation for me. Never thought I would include an On shoe in a top 5 favourite shoes of a year. I've really enjoyed On shoes in general. When I've tested them in the past, I've had good fun in them, but none of them have ever really captured me enough to stick into a rotation. This one has. I've got over 150 miles in this shoe already. It's doing really well. I got sent this one. This is actually the only shoe in the list that I got sent by a brand, so just bear that in mind. And I had the usual expectation of testing it and giving some feedback on it and sharing my thoughts, and then potentially not using it again, or maybe just using it sparingly. However, it's pretty much not all the other options that I would use for my easy day out the door, and this one is the one I am going for. Now, it does have to fight with the competition of the Evo SL, and quite honestly, hands down, the Evo SL would win any day of the week. But when I am trying to give that one a rest and get another easy day shoe in, this is the one I'm gravitating towards. I'm really enjoying it. The foam is a little bit firmer. This doesn't contain any of On's premium foam. This is their bog standard basic stuff, but it does the job really well. I love the comfortable upper. The only problem with this shoe, as you can see here, it does sometimes pick up hitchhikers, but it's not a massive issue. And to be honest with you, the grip on the shoe is really good. For a wider foot runner, it's really nice. They've put this extra wide section at the bottom here of the laces, which means that your feet aren't bunched together too much. And yeah, I've just been really impressed. And speaking of snappiness and responsiveness back from shoe number 2, the Evo SL. This is the solution. Not a training solution, definitely a racing solution, but the Nike Streetfly is well up there. I kind of feel like Nike have thrown everything at this shoe this year, from their R&D department, their innovation, everything has gone into this, because this is absolutely spectacular. And obviously the rest of the shoes, they don't look quite as exciting. And again, we'll come on to that shortly. This one though, however, is absolutely mind-blowingly good. I think this is the lightest shoe I have in my rotation, if I remember rightly, and it is super, super fast. I've done a couple of workouts in it, and I've done a mile time trial with a bit of a workout afterwards. I'm using it sparingly. So the reason why I'm doing that is because it is a carbon plated shoe. I don't want to use it too much in training, and I did notice a little bit of calf soreness after using it. It is that aggressive. When you're up on your toes, you are absolutely flying in this shoe. What you have to bear in mind, if you look at it like that, it very much is a road spike. So you'll see that if it actually stood flat, it will be a negative drop. You've just got to be a little bit careful with your calves. If you're used to wearing spikes, you'll be absolutely fine in this. But if you're not, like me, it's something that is going to take a little bit of conditioning. However, if you can rock and roll in this shoe and get going, it is like no other. Like I've just said, it is snappy, it's fast. My mile time trial, I think, was around a 4:52, 4:53 or something like that. Something that I did not think I could run. It wasn't even really great weather that day, but when I got going in this shoe, it just felt like it would not stop. I felt like it was just flowing. It was brilliant through the gait cycle. It was just effortless. The bounce and the snap from the front of the shoe is just like no other. Well, maybe one other. The Puma Fastart Nitro Elite 3 is the 5th one that I want to shout about. Again, limited testing in this so far, but my word, this thing has blown me away. Workout and a race, and it has been absolutely incredible. Talking of snap and responsiveness, this thing for me so far, definitely right up there with a racing shoe of the year. Now, obviously, I haven't tested a whole host of racing shoes this year. I've only tested one other one, and that one doesn't even come close to how this one performs. It is absolutely unbelievable. Now, as you probably gathered, I haven't included the Puma DV8 Nitro Elite 3 in here, which, as you know, if you've been watching the channel, is one of my favorite shoes so far. But of course, I purchased that last year, so I don't want to include that one into this video. But this, the successor, shall we say, the upgrade, maybe, obviously a different model line, but still the next advancement in technology from Puma, is absolutely brilliant. If you love that shoe and you want something light and snappy and you really get the most out of the forefoot of a shoe, then this one is incredible. The extended carbon plate that comes out ahead of the shoe really gives that extra snap as you're toeing off. The propulsion from this shoe, just like the Streetfly, is no other. What you're going to get from this one compared to the Streetfly, though, of course, is a lot more cushioning, a little bit more of a longer distance racer, something that's going to feel better on your feet for a longer period of time. And quite honestly, just using this shoe makes me excited for where Puma are taking their racing shoes in the future. It's honestly been exceptional to use the DV8 Nitro Elite 3 this year, and to now lace up this thing is just mind-blowingly good. I really do think the competition have a lot of catching up to do with them. So those are 5 of my favourites so far this year. Which one have I been slightly disappointed with? Well, of course, it's going to be the Nike Vaporfly version 4. Weirdly enough, not disappointed because it's a bad shoe, just because it feels like it's turned into a super trainer rather than a racer. I feel like it's fallen off so far from being in line with the competition that I can't see many people choosing that shoe over any other racing shoe that's out there on the market right now. However, from the running that I have done in the shoe already, I really, really enjoy it. It feels absolutely brilliant. It feels like a super trainer. It feels like the Puma DV8 Nitro Elite version 2. If any of you tried that shoe, and the Nike Vaporfly 4 feels exactly the same. You get that great ZoomX comfort, the upper's really been dialed in, it fits really nicely. Of course, you've got the carbon plate. The only thing that's lacking in the Vaporfly 4, and I kind of felt it in the version 3 as well, is just that rebound effect from when you land and push off. It just feels like it gets a little bit too mushy and you don't get as much snap. Something that I'm looking for when I'm obviously trying to run fast on race day. It just feels like it gives you enough in training to run some fast times and make you feel good and maybe feel a bit amped up, ready for a race, but it's certainly not a race option that I would lace up. And now this is the bit where I need a bit of your feedback, because I'd love to hear what you're planning to pick up in the second half of the year. So I've obviously had a couple of shoes on my radar for a while now. There's been something that has just been pushing pause in my brain on purchasing the Boston 13. I really wanted to try it this year. I've never tried a Boston shoe and I've nearly done it, but I just think to myself, is it going to be better than the Evo SL? I don't think it is. I put a poll out on Instagram. A lot of you said said, mate, just don't bother. We picked it up. It's really not going to be anything better than the Evo. It's a bit lifeless, it's a bit dull, it's really not worth it, and it's heavier. I just avoid. So that's kind of just made me be a little bit hesitant. Of course, we've got the Neo Vista 2 from Mizuno that's come out. Now, I've tested the first one. It was pretty indifferent for me. It was a good shoe. I found where its sweet spot was, which was a good long run cruise. But other than that, I didn't really find it to be that versatile, and I don't really want to get one-trick ponies into my rotation. But looking forward to future releases, a couple on my radar are, of course, the Saucony Speed 5. I'm not sure how much that has changed from version 4 and 3, but I just love to test the 5. I've tested every other version. I'd love to see how this one is progressing or maybe regressing. The Hyperion Max 3, of course, is coming out in July from Brooks. You guys know my love for the Hyperion Max Original and version 2. Both really great shoes. I'd love to see what they've done with the 3. I've heard some good early hype about that shoe, so I'm excited for that one. And if there's anything else that I've missed that you guys think that I would like, please do drop a comment that might be being released over the next couple of months. It'd be great to hear from you. And of course, what are you looking forward to? And always, what have been your top 5 shoes you have been using this year? They don't have to be 2025 models. What have you just found to be a good mainstay in your rotation? Let me know down in the comments below. And that's it from me today, guys. If you enjoyed this one, you might want to check out this video up here. It's the Puma Farstar Nitro Elite 3 race test that I did recently. Gave you guys some feedback on that. And if you're interested in seeing how the Evo SL has held up after 300 miles, check out this video down here. And I'll see you guys over there.